Okay, we're gonna hit record. And I'm just gonna live with it with regards to audio. So here's Echo, right? Cool. I've actually got two funny things. First is that I'm an incompetent gibbering moron. And the second is you'll notice that I'm not drowning. You're probably thinking, you got the cheats working, right? No. See, this is Echo 2. Because I was just curious enough to try it, right? I was just curious enough to see how it plays. And I noticed three things immediately. First, it probably doesn't look that different in controls. In fact, it's very minutely different. But they got rid of some of the drag. So I actually am in a noticeably more amount of control of what I'm doing than in the first game. Like, the ice skates have been removed, is how I would describe it, right? It's still got this problem. Nice, big, long turning things. But you notice even here, the turning angle is reduced from where it was in the previous game. Second thing, and this is a minor thing, but check this out. I'm going to dash into the air. Did you notice that? Let me try that again. Notice it that time? I have horizontal control in the air, which by itself would reduce 2 negatives I've already given to the previous game. That one change is a weirdly big change for maneuverability. The third thing, you've probably also already noticed, is there's no breath bar. They just got rid of it because it never should have existed. Well, apparently you lose it in a few levels. Well, that's even stupider. I was about to give this game praise. How foolish of me. It's just... It was the first thing I noticed was that there was no breath bar. And I was like, yes. They got rid of the breath bar in an underwater game. That should be such a duh thing. Hi, Octopus. Oh, my back hurts. Let me get actually set up here. Because, yes, this is not Echo 1. This is Echo 2. Better music, too, while we're on the subject. Thank you, Takoida, for being part of the show. Give me a second. Let me jot that down. Over here. But I gotta type for Frieza here. Hang on, I gotta do a big old typey type here. I'm gonna type like more loudly than I'm gonna like angry type here. Let's just do this, and then let's do this, and let's do this. And then we'll do like this and be like, 4 and 7 years ago, it was determined that Echo is a totally crap game of total crapitude. And now there will be endless, eternal crap. Yeah, so Frieza, Let me give you a little tip. This is a legitimate pro tip from someone who has worked in audio engineering for several years of his life. Don't go down the rabbit hole of trying to perfect your audio setup. Unless you're actually in a proper booth, which is going to cost you in the 5-digit range, I'm just going to tell you that right now, you will always have some issue, some problem. You'll have problems with your audio being cut off too much. You'll have problems with picking up, radiant sounds a little bit too much. You'll have problems with not being able to pull in the register appropriately. You'll have problems with white noise. You will always have at least some problems with your setup. And just accept that at some point. So, for example, this is a fun one. So Frieza was hearing this, right? Here, I'll even demonstrate. Let's see if we were right about this, because I think this is it. So I'm going to go and scooch the switch in there and just kind of like... You hear that? You might actually not be hearing that because I've got a slightly different setup. But, so that's the switch jostling very slightly in its dock. Which happens when I'm like... Which now I can't even do it on purpose. I can't even do it on purpose. I can't. But occasionally it will jostle just slightly in the dock right there. So for the moment, of course it vibrates the camera. There's no fixing that. That's something I've walked away from. The camera's sitting on the monitor. The monitor is vibrated by everything. I could fix the camera if I had a proper like wall mount or ceiling mount for it. I don't. Those are expensive and require like installing something. So that's not happening. No, I'm pretty sure that is. Here, let me hang on a sec. Let me prove this. Because right now you're hearing me filtered. If we get rid of this, the audio should sound substantially different. So, oh yeah, that's another thing, Dakota. A very valid point. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this back in there. And now, you hear it? Yeah, yeah. So, so now we're going to turn that filter back on. So yeah, for right now, I'm just going to let the Switch sit out of its dock. And I'm just going to play Mega Man. Guys, we're playing Mega Man. Let's do it. Alright, let's see here. Alright. They have no SNES Mega Mans here, do they? I actually did spend... So, a lot of the time I spent this morning was adjusting the filter. And let me tell you, if you've ever messed with audio filters, you understand why that took me an hour and a half. Yeah, there's nothing Mega Man on this at all. I was just wondering, because like there's only like the one Sonic... No, excuse me, 2 Sonic games, too. Okay. But... this enabled me... So, with a better filter, I could turn the gain up physically on the mic, which I did. So if this is too quiet, Blade Tiffall, I'm going to politely ask you to duel me at dawn with pistols. I saw that Dakota, and I wasn't able to figure out what it was, because I keep those installed. Yeah, Ecco 2 controls noticeably better. Immediately noticed. It was the first thing I noticed. Was that the basic controls are better. We have actual control in the air, like this. And this is much smoother, overall. Just way smoother. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, me being too loud isn't really the end of the world because it's pretty easy to turn me down. Turning me up is the issue. Insert sex joke here. Alright, so let's actually get back to the actual game we're playing. The Endless Abomination game. Okay. I mean, that's actually pretty easy to fix. As you can hear right now, the ducking is working perfectly well. And I can tell because I could physically see the volume just diving down there. Okay, so Island Zone. Oh yeah, actually, I figured what was... So, speaking of me being a driveling moron, I figured out what was wrong with the cheats thing. Check this out. So, let me pull up that. Right, and then Lord Harrimont, speaking of me being a driveling moron, also a problem. Hang on. Let's just enjoy this savorous music for a second. Oh yeah, no, there's no audio options whatsoever in the game, of course, so the sound effects are just way too loud, and the music is just blippy. So, we're going to put this, so that was $7 and then $3. Only I can tell what 7 plus 3 were. The other thing that occurred to me is I am trying to keep my volume a little bit lower. Like, literally, my projection is lower because, you know, there's someone sleeping, like, 20 feet that way. So, that might be at least partially responsible. So, Disgaea, Cyberpunk, Plague Tale. Yeah, pretty much, Talia. Cardboard walls, cardboard door. I have purchased a, thing, I'm going to put some thick wool stuff with some proofing on the door. You know what? I think we can, actually. Like, right here. Hang on a sec. Give me a sec. Where is that? It might be downstairs right now. In fact, I think it is. And that's because it is. Okay, as like a temporary thing. Oh, you can't even see him. But like, here-ish, looks like. It's not quite tall enough. It's behind the gameplay thing. I'm just really jury-rigging at this point. I might raise it a little bit. So a little bit more than that. I'm not going to delay the stream any longer, but like during the lunch break, I will make a point of going, because I'm pretty sure I know exactly what it is, and grabbing the sign, and we can put it like right there. Okay. I haven't watched it, Pika. Okay, so yeah, look at this level. There's nothing going on. It's the best level in the game because there's nothing there. Okay, so. Oh, right. No, that's what I was going to do. I was going to do something specific. I'm going to laugh if I'm like an hour from the end of the game and it's like, well, I got to cut off now. So, since we've already thrown up the cheat flag, and screw this game. So, there is an infinite life cheat baked into the game right there. Oh yeah, we can also choose the music tempo. I find that one to be amusing. But anyway, so yeah, we can just turn on infinite life like that. Boop. I'm curious of something. Let's just move. Let's see what happens, because that might also give us infinite error. That's what I'm wondering, Blake Duvall. Okay, so infinite life is working. That's good to know. Yep. Okay, so my error should have moved by now. So I think we have infinite error too. Okay. Oh no, Ross. What do you want from me, Ross? Why do you hate me, Ross? What did I do to deserve this, Ross? Oh man, I love troll pathways like this. There we go. That's not a bad one. That's not a bad. That's just a dead end. That's not a troll thing. Oh no, I want to attempt the machine legit at least once. Depending on how far we get, more than once probably. Listen, this game's actually pretty easy, honestly. Like, I beat this my first time, and Shark's like, hey, what's up? All right, so let's actually beat the stage. So, what are we doing? So it looks like we want to go down and then over. Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah, me too, Rex. Oh my god. It's good to know that terrible, terrible physics are still terrible. Yeah, the shell was not respawning. That was kind of the issue there. That's why we just kept dying to reset it. It's like, well, okay. Oh my god, that is such a dick move. Look at that. Look at that. And you have to tap that crystal to get that key. That is such a dick move. Unfortunately, it's not that far to health, but good lord. Okay, so then we go down. I know, Ross, I know. So grab some air. The storm that has taken your pod shook the entire ocean. That's statistically unlikely. Yeah, so I agree with Rax. This is kind of the Sonic 1 thing. Go fast, except when you don't. I know not what has happened to your pod. Perhaps the Big Blue will help you. You must travel past the undercaves to find him. What? I don't know, Talia. Yeah, that's from like stage 2 or 3. And I don't think that was a crystal that said that. Okay. Whatever, we're just gonna move on from that. Probably Archivo, that might be default. Okay, so there's a recovery spot. Yeah, where am I? Okay. Your journey has just begun, Echo. Okay, well, whatever. We got the key. Normally we'd be racing back to not, drown right now. So I guess we can, like, emulate that. There we go. So we haven't drowned. Once again, we would be drowning while that's happening, just as a reminder. And then we scooch past this. Still drowning. Still drowning. Okay, there's the... Oh, that's such a dick move. That's such a dick move. Oh my god. Okay, so in case you missed that, because of the octopus, which slows you down, you would have to be rushing by this point, because we would be really low, like maybe 1 or 2 earth bouts. So we're rushing up. We see this thing, we go for it, we go right into the spikes. No, okay, no. No, no, yes, yes. It appears to be Plutonia. It's okay, we can recover it. This... That's weird, Talia. Okay, whatever. I mean, listen, this game, having a programming glitch is impossible. Okay, so I guess this is our goal? Okay. Let's see if this one has spikes. Oh my god, it doesn't. Or rather, it doesn't, but, like, they're high up enough that it's not an issue. Oh my god. Wait, was that what it looked like? Look at how many homing fish it throws at you. Look at this. Oh my god. Okay, okay. Okay, so it's up here somewhere. This is another giant no air section, by the way. Dead end in a no air section. Very nice. Okay, there's the key. And then we'd be gunning it to get back in time, because we'd be running out of air right about now. Because lack of air is apparently a plot point. I know, it's in the second game, but god damn it, screw this game. I don't care about consistency, and neither do they. Okay, so there's our air. Wow, that was one of the least bad levels we've had so far. Negative to gameplay. Alright, so... hang on, let me pull up the list of levels here. That was stage 11. I've been debating the level coach thing. Because, like... they're basically a save point, right? Like, in a really crude way. And they're static. You can just look them up later and just, you know, do them. So, it's a way to be like, oh, shoot, I want to start over at level 15. So, like, I'm debating if, like, having a save feature at all warrants a positive. But I'm not sure it does. Any thoughts on this? Hang on, I got an email from Patreon. It says, you should be monetizing more. That's not a joke. That is actually what it's saying. You should bilk your people more. Everyone, I'm raising my rates, because I am an idiot. Yeah, exactly, Rex. No, I'm actually with you completely. It's funny you say that, because I mentioned my issues with the zoomed-in camera with the Sonic series, and I'm starting to wonder if, like, all of that is just on Sonic 1. Because Sonic 1 is the... of the classic Sonics, Sonic 1 is the one I played the most, right? No, it didn't get anything, Shadow Machine. Mega Man has a password system, too, which even retains, like, your lives and your things. Like, I'm okay with giving those codes A1 save positive, but that's true. Like, every Mega Man game has to get some positives, and we have to go back and give Metroid a positive, and that's going to be an audit, basically, is going back and giving some positives. Because I'm not sure having saves qualifies. It's... This, without a save system, this game would probably be a negative. See, that's what I'm feeling. I feel like this is more an absence of a negative thing. I'm not sure if any game has gotten every save positive we can give. Because, yeah, there's actually, for those of you not aware, there's actually 3 categories of save positives we give. There's quick save, autosave, and save, right? And the ideal, I feel like we've encountered a game that has the, because the ideal is a good autosave system which has multiple autosave slots, a good quick save system which has multiple quick save slots, and a good and efficient save system which is quick and easy to use. I'm not sure we've encountered a game that manages all 3 of those. I'm actually double checking here as I'm looking through the list. Yeah, it's going to be a PC game, whatever it is. Looks like DOS 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 both got it. And that might be it. Yeah, that's it. Those are the only ones. So there you go. DOS 3, or DOS 2, excuse me, and Baldur's Gate 3. Ah. Okay, right. So next stage. We pull them out. I've been using a map this whole time too, which you gotta kind of take into consideration when dealing with this nonsense. Hey, Friskaborn. So this is, we just did the island zone. So now we're in deep water. Here we go. Yeah, I feel like, I don't want to be derogatory, I feel like the code system is an absence of a negative. In fact, actually, let me double check myself on something really quick. I'm definitely not just avoiding playing Echo the Dolphin. Here we go. Okay, so I was right. Mario 3 got the negative this game is avoiding. Because you remember, Mario 3 has nothing. Yeah, we're playing the Genesis original. Not the better version or the other better version. Yeah, Mario 3 not only has lack of checkpointing, it has no save system whatsoever. Not even a level select code like this game does. So that, I think that's a pretty good establishment of why this game will not get a negative for that, is because it actually does have the level select codes. Air spot. What in the world? This is me holding down for perspective. Anyways. Ah. No, I was pretty sure it was just the physics being physicsy. Oh, this is an interesting level. This is definitely a go slowly, but also you're running out of air level. Oh, gee, God damn it. Yeah, the existence of a level select, which is ultimately what that is an absence of a negative. Yeah, Sonic 2, and I suppose 1, would also get that. Oh my god, enemies. Honestly, I can think of several older games that will get that exact same negative. Well, I remember you in the mountains. Of course, it was you, and it was I who sent you. Now it is clear. I can help you by giving you powers and knowledge. That's okay. DNA Helix is like, I can give you stuff. But you must help me. You must help me regain my full strength. You must travel into the past. To the west is a sunken city called Atlantis. Its people built a machine and used it to travel in time. Yes, really. Use the machine to travel to the distant past before your kind existed. You will go back 55 million years. There you will find my missing globe. You must return it to me. Only then can I give you what you need to save your pod. Okay, so we're going to the distant past to get a piece of a DNA, which is the oldest living being on Earth. Okay. Okay, that's cool. We're cool. Everything's cool. But this also means we're getting closer to the stage I remember the worst, other than the machine, of course. That's right. We're getting close to the city. Yeah, what's funny is Evo also had an absolutely bonkers story. Now, granted, in Evo, you played as, like, you started as an aquatic, and then you went, like, you know, reptile and mammal and all that. But, you still started aquatic. And if I had a nickel... By the way, that's the first stage we haven't given a negative to, the one we just did. Which, by definition, makes it the best level in the game. So far. FF7R2, Horizon Forbidden West, Expedition 33, and a thank you. Thank you very much, Witcher Signs. Always appreciate it, thank you. I should have written down that code. I could replay that level whenever I want to. It's okay, they're static codes, which means I could just, you know, look it up if I really wanted to. The lore in this series is interesting. So that's why we have a gradient czar. A game that has an autosave feature that isn't, you know, obstructive is at least one positive, right? That's how that works. Get some air while we're here. Hang on, this is the wrong stage. We're not on volcanic reef yet. Oh god, what stage are we on? Oh yeah, Marble Sea. Right. Where's Marble Sea? There it is. What sea creature would I be? Oh, I'd be some kind of shark, 100%. Now, which kind of shark? That's a little trickier. Yeah, so here we are in Sonic 1, and also 2. And 3. Seriously, I looked at them side by side, and they don't actually look that similar, but I cannot be the only person who thought that this just looks like Sonic. It's not. Again, I can prove it. I've seen the sprite sheets. Yeah, it's very Sonic-like. Yeah, that's a good way to put that. Yeah. Hang on, let's despawn that guy, rip out his soul. I continue to not be joking. When we kill someone and despawn them, we're literally removing their soul. That's actually a thing that we really are doing. I swear I'm not making that up for the sake of a joke. Okay, looks like they're despawned now. Dang it. It's funny, I've been having the opposite problem. Speaking of which, hang on. Let's turn off the soundtrack there, because we can just do that. Let's see. So this is the Marble Ocean. I don't know which song. Oh, here it is. Here it is. No. We're not 55 million years ago yet, push-ups. I know what it wants me to do. Just failed at it, that's all. Dang it. Okay, hang on. Imagine every one of these attempts I'm just doing this. No! Traxia, no. Yes. Our current objective is, not exaggeratively, to find a time travel machine that the ancient Atlanteans used. Damn it, I was so busy being damaged by something that I couldn't dash. I was stuck in the recoil animation. Okay, there we go. Oh no, and it's stuck. And yeah, the chain also does damage to you. There is a heal spot nearby, so it just wastes your time. Ah, for God's sakes. Yeah, which also wastes your air, so let's refill our air there. There we go. You know, I noticed the last couple stages had started getting better. It's good to know we're finally getting to the city. We need to surpass level 5. Which was the lagoon, for anybody wondering. Oh, too far. God dang it. Not far enough. Technically, yes, Lunarith, but only technically. There we go. Oh my gosh. Huh. The game will not be getting any pluses for this music, let me put it that way. So you like underwater mazes in areas with tight right-angle turn corridors, right? Access granted. Okay. No air down here, by the way. Of course there isn't. Okay, so that's a door. So access was not granted then. Okay, I see how this works. Yeah, so these things... I don't know what to add about these things. Okay, got the key. Yeah, ironically, I still think level 5... It's not. Amusingly, I still think level 5 is the worst level we've encountered. Oh god, that would be awful. Freeze it. Okay. What? But I'm here. We're done. We're gone. That's weird. So yes, you have to do that entire section with no air, and I can prove that because I've got the map up. You have to do that entire section without air. The air is the surface. Oh yeah, the library. Okay, so hang on. So let's give some negatives really quick first. Alright, so hang on, let me pause. I don't want to kill Lunarith's ears here, so we'll pause the amazing music and turn on the terrible music. The library. I will say this, the Genesis is probably another one of those good examples of a game being more unique than anything else and catching people's attention because of the uniqueness. Something we've talked about a lot on the show. Grab some air. I like how the ruins of Atlantis are right here. I'm pretty sure we're just in the Mediterranean. So I guess it's not that far. Gonna eat his soul really quick here. Oh yeah, Sega tried a bunch of stuff. Good, bad, and in between. Pop up for air. Listen, if you eat spiders, that's up to you, okay? But please don't share. That's true, they'll just know. Whoop, 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 whoop. As I've mentioned a few times, my exposure, of course not to Valorant. Nothing in the game whatsoever indicates that. See? He's just there. He's just background. But yeah, for those who don't know, you can do this and you get the invincibility rings. Notice it actually just gets rid of your breath bar and your health bar. It's just, nope. How much damage have you taken? No. But yeah, so uniqueness, right? I didn't have a lot of exposure to Genesis. There's a friend of mine who lived in the same complex as me. I've told this story before. Who I used to play a lot of Genesis games at her place. So, you know, Toe Jam and Earl, the Addams Family Genesis game, which was really weird. One of the Spider-Man games, I don't remember which one, don't ask me, there were several. I did play Comic Zone. Obviously Sonic 1, as I just mentioned, and Sonic 2 a little bit. The main way we played Sonic 2 was we very accidentally, I don't even remember how it happened. I remember where it happened. I don't remember how it happened. We accidentally into figuring out how to adjust the player into stuff and then spawn items, like a debug mode. They don't bother me at all, push-ups. Crabs don't bother me. Which meant we would turn Sonic into a ring, and then... No. And then just spawn like 50 rings or 100 rings, whatever it is, and then turn into Super Sonic. And then we'd play through Sonic 2 as Super Sonic. This is why I say I have more exposure to Sonic 1 than Sonic 2. I'm not sure I've ever played Sonic 2 without debug mode. Because we would always do that. I mean, the Dreamcast could have made a splash, it just didn't. For a lot of reasons that are honestly too complicated to really go into right now. The Saturn was always a mistake. Like, there's no two ways about that. No, I'm not positive what I have to do. However, over here somewhere? Hang on, a little further. There are some chains I need to break. With the with the block. So I'm pretty sure this is in fact what the game expects of me. Also, it's the only place I can actually go to. No, I was trying to catch it on my nose, and it just went through me. You saw that, right? The upper right's where I came from. Okay, there we go. No, down. No! Like, I can pick it up a minuscule amount, but I can't seem to get it up past that. Like, you see that? Yeah, to be clear, when I say disparaging things about the Dreamcast, I mean purely financially. Like, there's no... Like, I'm not saying the Dreamcast sucked, I'm saying the Dreamcast was a failure. Because it was. That's not an opinion. That is objective fact. I never played the Dreamcast. I never had access to one. No, that's not true. I had a friend of mine who had one. Yeah, it's like the Wii U. You can like the Wii U as much as you want. But, like, it doesn't change the fact that it was a financial failure. How the hell? I don't even understand how I just did what I just did. Yeah, you want to talk about a bad console? We have bad consoles. Like, we can point to consoles that are just bad consoles. I've never heard of it, Tsar. Okay, so hang on. So I was like, ah, crab! That is such a dick move! Why is the crab right there? Okay. There we go. Okay. I didn't realize there was a current kind of pushing it a little bit. Whoop, 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 whoop. Too far, too far. There we go. And a little bit further. Remember, you have to redo all of this if you die at any point. By the way, there's no air down here. So you have to do this entire puzzle that I'm doing right now without air refills, because if you go for the air, you will despawn the thing. So just remember that. I'm one of those weirdos who thinks the N64 was not a very good console. Now, it did have a few very good games on it. But, like, it had a pretty weak library, in my opinion. Like, I don't even mind the controller. No, I really don't. It's weird, but once you just hold it the correct way, it's fine. No, the problem is the library is just kind of... it doesn't help that the N64 was basically the PS3, aka absolutely terrible to develop for. I'll tell you why, and I can't, once again, objectively, I can tell you why the N64 took off the way it did. And it's actually a really simple thing. It is the, I guess I do need to do that first, don't I? You're reminding me. It's the 4 controllers. Yeah, it's the 4 controller things on the console. And I know that sounds strange, especially from a modern perspective, but no, that was the selling point. 100%. That was the game you hooked up stuff with and played with friends. We are losing a war with the planet Vortex. Atlantis is in ruins after a beam struck from space. We have escaped into the past with our technology. Glyph crystals containing encoded messages. Certain sounds reflect the message back. Created to help a dolphin of the future travel to Vortex. Planet Vortex, third planet in the star system Cassandra. Located in the head of the constellation Pegasus. Note, the nearest constellation to Pegasus is Delphinius. Vortex life forms. We suspect that Vortex is dying and can no longer produce food. Every 500 years, when the Earth and Vortex have a clear path, the Vortex feed upon the Earth. Each feeding increases in size. The Vortex are getting hungrier. We, the people of Atlantis, have made these glyphs for you. We are losing a war with the planet Vortex. Atlantis is in ruins after being struck from space. I don't know why this is repeating it. Vortex is feeding on the seas of our Earth. Eventually, all life will be harvested. All life will end. The Vortex must be stopped. Yeah, we're literally saving the world, by the way. Literally, literally. They also know we exist, and that we're from the future, which makes sense since they traveled into the past. Yeah, exactly, Ross. Now, I think Mario Kart 64 is one of the weaker of the Mario Kart games, but come on. It was a plug-and-play co-op / versus game with built-in 4-player support. Yeah. And you can play Strip Mario Kart. So, yeah, in case you missed it, that's the majority of the plot right there. Unlike the game we just played, where all the plot is literally after the final boss, you just saw the bulk of the lore dump right there. There's another planet. There's aliens. They periodically reach out to harvest the life on Earth in order to feed themselves. The ancient Atlanteans were having trouble and losing a war against them. So they decided to escape into the past in order to avoid that. You may or may not remember, we are about to go to the past, as requested by the ancient DNA helix thing. Excuse me, I believe the technical term is ancient helix DNA thing. Talia Zed, thank you very much. Unironically, I find the bonkers plot kind of charming. Access granted. I think it's a cute way to do it. I think the best is... Oh, Jesus Christ! What I think is the best of the SNES, PS1, or PS2? I suppose that's a metric question? Like, as in, by what metric? Having said that, I think it's between the PS2 and the SNES. But if you put a gun to my head, I'd say the SNES. And I can actually explain why pretty simply. The SNES was the end of an entire video gaming era. In other words, it had what I value most in video games. Polish. By the time the SNES came out, there were people who had been developing games for 15 years at that point, who had refined their craft, knew what they were doing, and put out absolutely some of the best games ever. Right? Games that are still amazing today. Yeah, there was a ton of inherited knowledge on the SNES. Now, the PS2 certainly had a hell of a library and some great stuff, but it would be closer to the PS4 era, when they would finally reach an equivalent point on the next video game era. No, I did not, Mr. Red. Are you lying to me, Mr. Red? Let's see. Georgia Cerberus. Well, let me double check. Make sure I can grab that. So a pod is just a term for the family unit of dolphins. It's like a herd, right? So the PS2, there's two things the PS2 has over the SNES. The first is sheer library size. The SNES didn't exactly have a small library. But the PS2 had a gigantic library, right? Like up there with the DS in terms of sheer library size. The second thing the PS2 had going for it was it had a lot more experimental games, because the PS2 was still in a very experimental phase of game design. Like, things hadn't standardized quite yet. So there's a whole lot of weird, wild, wacky, interesting stuff. Like, you remember that tank game we played, where you play as a tank with a chainsaw? Yeah, that's a PS2 game, right? There it is. Or like Ecco. Yeah, exactly. So the SNES had polish, depth, if you will, and the PS2 had breadth, width, and variety. Take your pick. Really, Plutonia? I did not know that. Girth. There we go. So, as it happens, I own Turbo Cerberus, so I don't have to worry about that, Mr. Red. And it's a PS2 game, and I'm grabbing it right now. Let me look something up really quick. Yep. Like I said, I'd give that to the SNES, but that's just because I value polish more than literally anything else in game design, right? Something unique that's irritating isn't something I enjoy, right? Okay, where am I? This way, this way. That's such a dick move. Yeah, nowadays we get experimental indie games. Quite a few, actually. Still a dick move. Right before the air, too. That is such a dick move. I mean, that's true with every console, Friscoborn. Honestly, while you are absolutely correct, at this point I don't even, acknowledge that, if that makes any sense. Because it's like, yeah, every single console. All of them. Tons and tons of trash. Like, there's some terrible games on the SNES, and there's terrible games on the PS2, there's terrible games on the NES, and there were terrible games on the Atari, and there's terrible games on the Genesis, and so forth and so on. It's true. It's just true across the board. Oh god, PS2 had some really bad third-person action games. There's terrible games on the Switch. There's terrible games on the ColecoVision. There's some terrible games on the Wii. There's one terrible game on the PS5. They're up to one now. Hang on a second. Sorry. Oh geez, I have no idea for Skamorn. Tens of thousands? Hundreds of thousands? I have no idea. I can't even guesstimate. Oh, we don't even talk about the mobile. We're here to talk about video games. Not that trash. Okay, Deep City. Let's pull up a map here. But yes, the I would actually say, pound for pound, obviously PC probably has the most slop. Just by sheer virtue of existence. But the worst is still mobile. Like you can't convince me elsewise there. Hang on 1 second. What's over here? Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Like again, PC just wins because that's how numbers work, right? That'd be an interesting project. I want you to document every video game. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed. That is possible to document. Sorry, gotta add that proviso. What? What? I mean, the Wii and the DS both had an enormous quantity of shovelware. I did review Henry Stickmin. It was the PC version of the game, but it was nonetheless originally a Flash game. Okay. I mean, the DS is still, pound for pound, another one of those in the running for... Oh, that's such a dick move. In the running for best consoles ever. Okay. Me too, Mook. Much as I love the idea of constantly hitting reload state over and over again. Yeah, no kidding, Bluetooth. Nintendo has not been shy about allowing all kinds of slop on their consoles. So, who knows? Oh, it didn't give me any. That's interesting. Ah! What? No, at some point in time, I might even play my Switch, too. That'd be wild. I'm not sure what the point of that room was. Well, Steam has been allowing AI crap, so... Yeah, By definition, this actually means the first Switch game I'll be playing is... Excuse me, Switch 2 game I'm playing is Pokemon Violet. You may be as amused or unamused by that as you prefer. Okay, what am I missing here? Maybe? Okay. Switch 2. The first Switch 2 I'll be playing is Pokemon Violet. It's a joke, because it was, like, actually a Switch game. But we'll be playing it on the Switch, too. And now I've ruined the joke. I blame you, Act. The 3DS is a similar game to the Wii U for me. Like, I don't regret my purchase of it at all. But ultimately, it just didn't have as strong of a library as I would have liked. Yeah, Gen 9. I'll focus on. Ghost Trick was awesome. I recommended that to friends. That's DS. We are going to give a launch negative to Pokemon Violet. God. There was an entire barely civil discussion about that on my Discord. In fact, there's actually been 2 of those. And it's like, guys. Yes, only one. I've already decided that, actually. And for the record, I've already played the game on the Switch 1, or really, I've been present while the game has been played on the Switch 1. So, yeah. 1. Okay, so let's pull up the walkthrough, because I don't know what to do here. Let's see here. Okay. The first sentence says, and I quote, "Okay, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be very frustrating for new-time players of Ecco. Oh, that's cute. I don't know, Rax, but you know, The Last Jedi might actually be the worst movie ever made in the history of... Oh, excuse me. Got some internet stuck in my throat. I'm sorry, that's the joke, Pillars of Snow. That's the joke. I heard people talking about episode, actually 7, specifically, as if it was the worst film ever made. And the only thing I can say to that is, so you're telling me that you haven't actually watched films before? Tell me you haven't watched movies before without telling me it, right? A friend of mine, a much younger friend of mine, was commenting recently how weird she thinks it is that I've seen so many movies. And I'm like, well, I was born in the 80s. So, I also happen to be the son of a cinemaphile mother. But, like, going to the theaters was relatively cheap and a fairly common thing to do with friends and family, right? Right? Anyone in my age group, you know what I'm talking about. It's the weekend. What's on? You wouldn't save yourself for like the 1 or 2 movies you see a year. You would just go to the theater. Or you'd check the newspaper and see what's showing at what time. Yeah, exactly. It was just a thing you'd go do. So yeah, I have actually been exposed to an enormous quantity of films in the theaters because that was just a thing we did for years and years and years and years and years. I got exposed to a lot of films, good and bad, as a consequence of that. No, Ross. What were they? Eh. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you remember when theaters were $5? No? No, I could go further back than that. You remember we'd get the matinee showing for $2? Hang on. You want to appreciate just how much films have got more expensive? Because you think I'm talking about stuff from, like, 40 years ago. No, 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 no. Check this out. When I used to go, one of the things I used to do when I got my bike, so I didn't have a car at this point in my life. I was recovering from the whole homeless period. But I had a job, I had the job at Arby's, and I had a bike. So I used to bike up the hill over across to the center of town to where the theater was, and I just chain up my bike and hang out in that area. And that would be my day off. Was I would just go and watch whatever films happened to be in the theater. Usually I'd watch like 1 or 2 films or 3 films, depending. Pause to grab a bite to eat and then go watch it. And you could do that for $5. That wasn't that long ago. It was about 20 years ago. If you rewind time even more, it's a joke. Yeah, like, so how many of you remember when you used to be able to go to the movies and rather than buying a ticket, you bought a pass? And the pass was actually really, really simple. You buy the pass and you're there, and when you leave, the pass runs out. That's it. Remember when you used to be able to just grab, like, Burger King and carry it in with you to the theaters without, like, having to stuff it away in your backpack or something like that? Oh, yeah, also, when they used to just allow you to have backpacks. Next year, the year after that act. I remember when people smoked in planes, Friskaborn. There we go. What? No, I made it! I don't actually know the technique. I just know I have to do the super jump here in order to make this happen. That's how I progress, is I actually need to go over this wall. Yes, I've already given this 2 negatives before you ask. Not only is this something nothing anywhere indicates is a thing, not only is this a technique that it doesn't explain how to do whatsoever, but there's an entire section of the level which actively misleads you into thinking you're going the right way when you're not. There's nothing down there. Okay, hold on. How do I do this stupid jump? Oh my god. This is awful. So, the guide I have, the walkthrough, does not say how to do a super jump. He just says keep trying until you make it. He then also mentions make sure not to die on the other side or else you have to do it again. Yeah. That's true, Frieza. What? Why? Why? I don't understand. You saw that, right? Like, I totally had that. What is that knockback? Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't do anything different. That's just luck. That's just luck. By the way, we haven't even started the stage. Okay. No, we're not in the past yet. We'll get there when we get there. All right, so. I legitimately think this game will have more gameplay negatives than Third Birthday. It will not score worse, but it will have more gameplay negatives. Now what do you want me to do? No. No. No, 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 no. You can't possibly. Okay, no, it's not as bad as I thought. The mini-map made it look like I had to go over that, like on the surface. We're good, we're good, we're good. Oh, I was gonna be mad. I'm actually allergic to cigarette smoke, so... kind of with you on that. Like, I tend to be pretty tolerant and understanding of people's desires to do whatever it is they want to themselves, as long as it's not causing me actual physical harm. But, like, you know... Let me guess. Yep, that's the door. I don't know anybody who vapes, so I haven't encountered that personally. You want one of the most I'll give you a controversial take ahead of polemic day, okay? Probably the most controversial take I have is that I think alcohol is a terrible thing. I think it is an awful thing for human society. I fully understand that there's such a thing as, like, you know, responsible drinking, you know, and being able to, you know, take care of yourself, manage yourself, drink safely, drink with friends, just have a bit of a buzz, blah, 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 blah. But, like, alcohol, ignoring the actual poison aspect, let's just walk away from that for a second. is at the root cause of so many things across so much of history. And it is so acceptable. Yeah, we as a species have been drinking alcohol since before we had writing. That's not a joke. We actually don't 100% know when alcohol was invented because it goes so far back. We're not sure of the records. Yeah, beer planting was a huge impetus for, like, society, record keeping, and domestication, too, while we're on the subject. Is this an entire section? Oh my god, this is an entire section with no air, in addition to all this crap that's hitting you as you're going through it. This is... So you're encouraged to go slow. Okay, there's an involved thing. I think that's not as bad as I thought. Hang on. Okay, so we need to go down first. Okay. We need to go down first. No, they're indicative of the current. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, life has sucked for most of human existence. And alcohol, for a lot of human existence, was the way we escaped that. That's not me being facetious or cynical or a joke. That's just something people did. They would get drunk and not think about it, or they would get drunk and feel less pain. Access granted. Yeah, exactly, Dakota. Like, it's literal medical purposes in addition to just, like, coping. Yeah, we all have our coping mechanisms. That's why I'm not really judgmental about alcohol, despite being pretty against it. Because, you know, it's understandable, right? This is bad. There it goes. Okay, so that thing doesn't respawn. No, 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 wait, 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 come back. You know, okay. There we go. What? But... Actually, yeah, crack is bad, but I'm not here to judge you for being a crackhead. Mr. Red. That's why they call him that. Also, this entire section and that puzzle I just did also have no air section. There's no air up here. There's still no air up here. Still no air up here. Oh my god, this is such a trap. Oh yeah, this is such a trap. Oh my god, look at this room. This is a no air section. Oh my god. Oh, wow. Did you... Okay, I need to reiterate that last section, okay? I need you to understand. I'm looking at the map. So the last air bubble spot was right after we went through the things flying at you section, okay? So we dive down, we get the key, we rush back up to the spot, dodging the things again. Then we go back through the dodging the things. We have to deal with the block spawning in the air puzzle to get to the left. Then we have to do another block spawning while there's tons of enemies around thing in order to push down, in order to get out. And all of that's on a timer because there is no air in that section. By the way, if you screw up any of that, you have to do that super jump at the beginning of the stage again. The one that's just kind of RNG. And yeah, as a reminder, you lose air when you take damage, or you lose air fast when you take damage. I'm not sure which, but I know it has an impact. Here, let me... Come on. Good God. Yeah, this is the maze level. I'm actually going to not look up the map for this level. In fact, I'm going to do something even worse on that. I'm going to make a save state. He isn't allowed in my room. Oh, this time. Oh, is he here? Pocket? Ecco speedruns are wild. I'll show you one when we get there. No, that was me. Fair. That was me putting down my controller so I could type. Yeah, the reason my biological family is rich is because of prohibition. I found that out very recently in my life. That's where they made their fortune, and they have been generationally wealthy ever since. Yeah, they were bootleggers. I thought Trump Sr. made his money off of profiting from Spanish flu. I could be wrong about that. Also messed up when you think about it. Nope. Hmm. I mean, that's how that works, right? The reality of the situation is that mathematically, at a certain level of wealth, the only way to take more wealth, to get richer, is to be oppressive, right? Is to be evil, for lack of a better way to put it. At a certain level of wealth, you've capped what you can do just through, like, working hard or taking care of yourself or being, being responsible or whatever. At a certain point, you have to start being scummy. And once you, no moral billionaires, blah, 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 but like once you tick over that line, okay. Sorry, I was looking something up here on the side. Yeah, billionaire is a gradient, as strange of a statement as that says. 100 millionaire is a gradient, etc., etc., etc. There's actually official terms for all that. I don't care to look it up right now. That too, unknown sample. At a certain point, you've made so much money that you stop making money. Maybe it's the wrong way to put that. At a certain point, you stop making improvement to your livelihood, to your livelihood, and you just start making the number go up, right? Oh, $1 billion is stupid. If anybody in chat right now had $1 billion, there are so many ways to explain how insane of a number that is. Yeah, like, my grandfather is evil, right? He is an evil man. But, like, that's a gradient, right? Like, that's it goes down from there. right? That's true, Storm Mage Felix. Yeah, the time comparison is one of my favorites, too. There's a lot of ways to compare 1 million X to 1 billion Y. Yeah, 1 million seconds is 11.5 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. And there's like a days one, too. I forget what the numbers are. Sorry, I'm still typing up negative for that level we just did. Listen, Ecco's running for president, and his platform is screw them Vortex guys. Vote for me. I'm gonna beat the Vortex. Congrats, White Noise. Okay, sorry about all that. So where are we at? We're now in City of Forever, right? So, bunch of save states. Let's do this. Let's suffer. Because unlike some people, I know how to work for a living. Okay, so... I'm not calling anyone out in chat for that. I'm calling out like, rich people. Okay. Okay, so let's turn unlimited life back off. And we're going to do this without a map. There goes. That's fast. You know what? Since I'm already going to be suffering, can I turn on the CD music for this? Is that cool? Let's see. Is there like... There we go. No, the Vortex guys aren't time travelers. They're just aliens. The Atlantis people, they're alien. They're time travelers. So, no air yet. That's great. I was trying to take it easy because of this nonsense, which I knew was coming. Just by virtue of the fact that this is where we're at in my life here. Hi, Meta Shinryu. Oh, okay, what's that? Is this anything? Okay, air. Okay, we're okay. Yeah, I turned it off, Moog. So I'm gonna guess, based on context clues, that it wants me to do this ridiculously insane jump. Because that's the dumbest possible thing that you could be requiring in a situation like this. I mean, unironically, the story of this game is kind of interesting. I'm not going to, like, be super positive about it, because there's not much there. But aliens periodically invade the Earth, and time-traveling Atlanteans help a dolphin to defeat the alien invasion is kind of something I'm down for, you know? I'm sorry. Maybe I just have no taste. I don't know. So here's the worst part. I could be just barking up the wrong tree. This might be something I'm not allowed to do, right? Maybe this is the wrong way. I have no way of knowing that. No. Push-ups. Haven't heard of it, sorry. I mean, again, I'm the one who really likes the story of Evo. I've streamed that game before, and we'll be reviewing it for the SNES blog. I can't discuss the story of Evo without spoiling it, but let's just say time-traveling alien invasions is mild compared to Evo. Okay, let's assume this is not what I'm supposed to do. Let's pop a save here. Yeah, imagine Spore, but JRPG, and weird. You have no idea, humanization. Okay. Wait, is that it? Oh my god, it is. So that has to be the way, because that's the only way forward. Everything else is a dead end. Okay, so it wants me to do the ridiculous impossible jump. That's cool. Yeah, the Sega CD version of this game is apparently better in pretty much everywhere. Which is almost why we're playing the Genesis version. Usually we like to play the best version of a game, but like, just this once, you know? Just this once. I'm not going to say the Sega CD version would score super well, but it would score better than this nonsense. Yeah, it might be like, you know, average-ish score, as opposed to whatever nonsense this is going to get down to. Please go down. I can't believe it expects me to make this jump. I cannot believe it expects me to just make this jump. Okay. I'm going to add some time to it, Dakota. I've actually been adding time to it. Those of you know, we're actually, one of the ways I keep track of the time of a game is I keep track on a per VOD basis. So I've already got a number for how long the game has been, relatively speaking. Because, yeah, we have been not resetting constantly. I don't think this is going to beat Crystal Star. And by Crystal Star, I mean Sticker Star. Hey, Zectoft. This is the city, I think? Hang on. I got too many things up right now. This is City of Forever. This is where we're going to time travel. Spoilers, sorry. We're going to time travel. No, I've completely forgotten that line, Zectoft, sorry. completely forgotten the most quoted line in Star Trek history. Kill me, Dream Whisperer. Kill me right now. Right now. You're French. You've got a guillotine, right? Lop my head right down in there. The awful block functionally ends with Pokemon Red. Hey, they guillotined plenty of people who aren't rich in the two terrors. Okay, fine. You can guillotine all the rich people first. I'll allow it. So picky. Oh, it didn't like that at all. What's funny is it worked, but, like, the game doesn't know where I am now. Okay, sure, I will absolutely take a hint. Because I'm kind of at the I've already given up and want to stop playing the game phase. And we're not even halfway through the game yet. We still have to go to the past, come back from the past. How the hell? So we gotta give the DNA strand his ball. We got a Tyler Durden in this. I hate this. I hate this. Awful 2, awful harder. Then we have awful-er. And it has to be something that starts with re. Right? It's always revengeance or revenge or the other RE words I can't think of right now. Reawakening. Revelation, yeah, that's a really common one. Retribution, Reloaded. Just the really awful block. I actually like that. Regaiden. Gaiden. The re-awfuling. The revolting. The recoded. Starting to hurt my thumb. This is it. We've run into the wall. This is it. We're done. Like, I can't even cheat past this. Oh yeah, Rebirth, Remake, Reunion, or Rees. This is awful. This is actually awful. Yeah, we have run into a literal wall. Rewired, yeah. Resolution. I don't see that one very often, but it's another one. Rehydrated. This is like those insane people who do ridiculous challenge runs on Twitch, and that's like their whole shtick, is they just do ridiculous challenge runs. And it takes them actual days of just doing this over and over and over. Except this is just the basic jump required to get past the stage, instead of some ridiculous challenge. And a Mario 64 speedrunner I know, who does a lot of modded stuff with Mario 64, recently did a video about can you get any stars with only one button press. It took him 3 months. He did. It required some absolutely insane RNG manipulation. I mean, literally one button press. Nope, not the jump button. In his case, it was the B button, which is the punch. So, can't move, can't jump, can't start. Just the B button. Yeah, I'm not talking... Oh my god! It really does feel like RNG. I agree with you completely, Bud Falkenstein. We have successfully made it past. The first obstacle. Well, more like the fourth obstacle in this stage. Oh my god. Okay. Now do the second jump. Actually, I did, Plutoni. I watched the whole video. That was fascinating. It's also interesting the specific way that they calculate the win area. Like, that was very clever. I said it earlier, the N64 was kind of a crap console to develop for. And I honestly think that's one of the reasons why Nintendo's developers, core development team, are so freaking good. I know it sounds awful to say, but they had to make good games on the N64. And they got clever about it. Okay. So I don't have a walkthrough. I don't have a map. But we have a save. So let's figure out what's next. No. So now I have to do that again. No, what? Why did you go left? Could you imagine if I didn't have save states? Could you imagine if I didn't have save states? I would take out the cartridge and a hammer. I'm trying to get this current, and it's like the problem with this game is there's these physics in this game, and they're terrible. They're really, really terrible physics. They're also inconsistent. There's probably a lot of floating point errors going on here. So I'm kind of fighting the physics constantly. So yeah, I noticed the current immediately. But I need to kind of hit it at a weird angle. Well, yeah, I'm not evil enough to think like a dolphin, Judah Turner. So let's try something weird. Let's try, like, doing this. Oh, no. Okay, I know how dolphins get high. How do they get drunk? I say apes make sense because yeah, fermentation, just which is a normal. I hate you. That should count. I'm sorry. You know what really pisses me off the most about these jumps is there are multiple times where I have made it, but the game says, "Well, no, you didn't make it enough." Right? Like I should be able to bounce my way over there. Quite frankly, if I get the height and get over the ledge, that should be it. I should be done. Instead, it bounces me out. Yeah, the rubber nose knockback is absolutely insane. What you're listening to is the Sega CD OST. Yeah, just bounces to the other side if you want to do that. You can do that kind of slanted. There's a term for that. It's like a pressure thing, where the game is painted to indicate, hey, if you're on this slope, you should slant towards this direction, right? And I know that exists because that goes back to the NES era. There are NES games that have that on their collision. Down, 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 down. God, why does it take so long to go down sometimes? I feel like I'm doing iceless in Mega Man X1, for those of you who know what that means. Which I have done, it's worth noting. I am capable of doing that. We're about maybe halfway through Judah Joker. You son of a Submariner. Okay, I need to rest my thumb for a second. Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't beat this as a kid. We are way past as far as I've ever been without, you know, using the level codes. Yeah, because there's no heals here, Blade Devil. Or imagine this, but there's no air. I know that doesn't make sense because we're jumping out of the water, but like, just picture that. Yeah, I'm gonna play the video here and watch this guy. Now, he's doing the exact thing I'm doing. He's doing the exact thing I'm doing. Yep. In the exact same way, even. He also jumped back on accident. That's funny. Right. What's that, Arcanvale? God. That should have counted. I was doing the spinning thing, which meant I was correctly having horizontal movement. That should have counted. Like that. That should have counted. Why didn't that count? Oh my god. Oh my god. I want to remind you that I can get some of the really hard Super Metroid tricks, the frame perfect, multiple frame perfect tricks in a row, usually on my second or third try. But I cannot do a jump in Ecco the Dolphin. Damn it! Okay, you probably didn't actually see what happened there, but I could feel it. I hit an invisible wall. Like, it pushed back against me. It pushed back against me as I was going to the right. You see that? Yeah, there's like an invisible block there. True. Arcanvale. Super Metroid is one of the best games ever made. This is Ecco the Dolphin of the Genesis. I have gotten it like 4 times now. I don't know what is pushing me back. This is BizHawk. This is one of the most accurate emulators in general. It's why they use it for tassing. That would be insane, DZ Maven. I'm watching the dude. He's doing the same thing I am. There he goes. He made it. So what did he do differently that time? Or is that just luck? Okay. Hang on. So he did... Okay. Hang on. I'm actually going to go frame by frame on this. Because he did something weird at the end there, and I just want to make sure it's what I think it is. Yes, that's where we're at. We're frame by framing this. Okay. I don't know how the hell to do that, but we're going to try. Okay. Yeah, we're still not at the quote-unquote hard levels, by the way. Although this is probably the first hard level. So that was pretty much what he did, except he managed to turn at the last frame. And I do mean the last frame. I should know. I checked the frames. No, Doom Rider, there's no way in hell. You have to redo all of this all over again. Because checkpoints, how do they work? Thought I had it there. Let's see, I bet Sonic 3 sits up there with something like, say, Yoshi's Island, which is one of the best 2D platformers I've ever seen. And one of the things Yoshi's Island does is a huge amount of its difficulty is there as an optional thing to reward mastery. Probably. I admittedly don't know. I don't like to use BizHawk for the most part. It's a little bit too, like, technical of an emulator for me. I'm only using it here because it's actually the only Genesis emulator I have. Best emulator I've ever seen? That's actually a tough one. I mean, it probably is BizHawk. BizHawk is a crazy good emulator. There's a reason that Tassers use it. Beastness is insane. I agree with that. It is starting to hurt. Like, my thumb is legitimately starting to hurt. should probably mention that I'm having to, like, mentally unlearn good controls to do this. And I know what you're thinking, well, yeah. But no, I mean, like, actually, because the controls are so bad, I'm having to do very non-intuitive things very quickly. Which is why occasionally I don't make the angle right, because, you know, muscle memory is a hell of a thing, especially when you're doing things at this level, at the frame level. And so I'm trying to do what I should be doing in a good platformer to make this jump, and it's like, no. It's like, oh, right, gotta start over again here. Every time you hear that dink, by the way, that's a momentum canceller. That's part of the issue here. Yeah, I don't need to cheat for this. So, I want to show you all something. Is that cool? Can I show you something? Not this. This. Now I want you to understand something. Here's us, okay? So we started down at 1, right? We went across through some enemy spam, made up our way up here, and now we're up here, okay? So this is where we're at. This is the thing we're stuck on. So you'll notice there's an immediate problem, and that's the third jump. But the other problem, in addition to the third jump, if I could grab the image correctly, which is apparently just something beyond my skill set right now, is look at how much of the rest of the level there is after you do the third jump. You got all that down there, the lower right, and then you got the upper right, and then you got the upper left. We are at maybe a quarter of the level. Maybe. Just doing these stupid jumps. Yeah, remember, there's no checkpoints. If you screw up or die at any part after this, you get to do these 3 jumps again. Yeah, so this is the level I was worried about. This is it. Oh God, you're right, von Falkenstein. Four of these jumps. 4 of these jumps. This isn't even close to halfway, or the final level, excuse me. Okay, so this is by Prismatic Angel. This is the link that von Falkenstein shared. So here's the next jump. This is the one we're about to be at. This one has enemies in it, and if you don't have the way to permanently despawn them, screw you. There's a teleport code which bugged out the game. Like, does anybody know how to fix the teleport code thing? Because, like, yeah. For real, like, could someone Google that, please, while I'm watching this poor soul doing something I could be doing right now? Wouldn't that be great? Just trying to do this stupid jump. Okay, there we go. So there's another jump. This is a good time as any to remind people that the way to despawn enemies is to do an optional quest that there's no way to go back and do if you failed it. There's also no way to know that it's there. Okay, so he made the 5th jump. Yeah, I noticed the centrifugal thing. Let's see if we have enough room to try that here. I don't think we do in this one, but... Jesus, okay, hang on. Yeah, no, I don't think we have the room for that here. It is so easy to go back. And damn it, and again, if you hear that tink, it's canceling my momentum. This is City of Forever. I disagree so hard. I disagree so hard. God damn it! If you're doing the CD version, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be a lot better. In pretty much every way. Oh my god. I actually don't know how you'd get a hold of the CD version nowadays. Apparently on the Genesis Mini. And that is so pathetically easy to do. Genesis Mini 2, excuse me. If you give me $23 million, I will beat this game without cheats. The physics. I hate the physics. I hate the physics. I mean, at this point, it's more for the kids than me, but well, let's just be real about that. I'm telling you, there's some kind of slanting or pushing or invisible wall or so. God damn it! I look away for 1 second, or something that's pushing me away. And then Ecco slowly starved. The end. And that was Ecco the Dolphin. No, DZ Maven. I actually have the map up. Let me just do something other than this for a second. Just to, you know. I got this magnetic tape stuff, which hopefully will work. Guess we'll find out in a second. Does it adhere? No, of course not. That would make sense. Why do you not adhere? You really don't. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that was a complete waste of money. Yeah, don't spoil Welcome to the Machine. For those who haven't encountered it. Okay, hang on. It looks like you are onto something, but I don't think that's a path. I think that's a key. Oh my god, imagine if I got all the way up there and couldn't progress because there was a key I didn't get, which I had to get through a wall. I can't do the stupid easy jump I've done accidentally 50 times. I hate this game so much. I hate the people who made it, and I hate Ross for making me play it. Okay, so. Access granted. Oh my god, I'm giving that its own negative. There's a freaking key. There's a freaking key door thing that nothing indicates anywhere that you're supposed to do. That is so... Oh, I'm livid. I'm actually livid. Time travel sequence initiated. What? Hold on, did we just skip the stage? Did we seriously just skip the entire stage? There's apparently 2 skips. Okay. I'll accept that. Hang on, hang on. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, thank you, DZ Maven. Second of all, let's watch the rest of the stage and review the rest of the stage. So, I want to stress that I'm not being hyperbolic, right? Like, I'm not, you know, gonna be like, oh my god, this is the worst game I've ever played. Because I've played worse than this. But, Yeah, no time to fix level design. Let's put a wall you can float through. Nothing indicates that it's there, which has a teleport to the end of the stage. So, we're actually going to put this under encounter design, because that's what this is. So there's the first jump, which was pretty bad. Then there's the second jump, which is extremely bad. Then there's this third jump, which is pretty bad. And then there's the fourth jump, which is pretty bad. I don't know if going through an invisible barrier in the wall counts as not intended, Cycloud. Yeah, I mean, this is straight up a Hungarian game. Like, not even, like, partial Hungarian. This is made by Hungarian developers. I know the one you're talking about, Cycloud. Unless there's another invisible wall I don't see, other than the one that just goes straight to the second thing. Because screw me. Okay, so let's watch the rest of this terrible stage, shall we? So we've successfully made it. It's the fourth jump, okay? So there's a bunch of enemies. There's current. Oh god, block puzzles, my favorite. There's some health. We're going to shove both blocks to the left. Okay. I was actually going to... My next step was going to be brute forcing the code and just teleporting. Okay, so we can go through that. That gives invincibility. Okay, cool. Sure. There's the guy we hit earlier, which gives us access granted. There's he's fighting the current this whole time, too. It's probably not obvious. You can see it because of the bubbles. So then he's going to go... I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he's trying... Okay, he has to go under, I guess? Okay, he wanted invuln. Sorry, he wanted invuln. I don't know what he's doing now. We may never know what he's doing. I wonder if he has the permanent despawn thing. He might not. Is this another of these stupid jumps? Are there 5 of these stupid jumps in this level? You've got to be kidding me. And if you go too far one way, you have to use the block puzzles to get back down because of the current. Okay, so he's going this. He's changed his mind. He's going a different direction now. Okay, he has the despawn thing. He just used it. Okay. Okay, so you have to come in from the... Because one-way passageways are just the best way to pad out your runtime in a platformer. I know Colgan told me. I need to tell Pax about it. He's not home yet, though. I'll tell him about it tomorrow. I'm not even playing and this looks frustrating. Look at that. Whoops. You went too early. You got to move the block again to go back to where... I love games that make you solve the puzzle over and over. It is actually one of the very few things that could be called objectively bad game design, is when they force you to solve the puzzle each time you want to progress through an area. That's Mega Man, sorry. Let's go back to this. There we go. Sorry about that. Hem. Yeah, imagine having to solve a puzzle every time you go through a dungeon. Every single time. Okay, so we've progressed. We've progressed. Okay. We're up in the upper area. Lots of bullcrap blocks that are going to smash on your face while you're low on air. Like you do. You know, honestly, the rest of the stage just looks like a typically bad stage. Like a generically bad stage. But those 4 freaking jumps are absolutely insane. Oh, you gotta carry the block. Oh my god, this stupid block puzzle. Okay, so you gotta carry the block all the way over. Right? Yep. And then you gotta use that to get a hurry. So you lose it. And then you go down the current, and then you hit this thing. And then you activate the teleport. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, so that was merely what I would call a bad stage, other than the 4 jumps. Those 4 jumps were terrible. I'm sorry. That's... I'm shocked. I am actually shocked. That was awful. I think it's on the list, Von Falkenstein. No, Linareth. Also, someone go stab Linareth for me, for being judgy! Okay, so let's pause the good music. There we go, okay. Alright, so for those of you who haven't played this game, what do you do here? Do know that we're drowning, so you're kind of on a time crunch here. Oh god, we're locked into the room. Help! Help! Okay, sonar, let's do it. Die. I guess that was pretty intuitive. I was just curious. Like, if anyone could pick up on that immediately. Because I only know because I've watched speedruns of this game. So I know immediately what to do. So, welcome to the past. Yeah, anybody want to guess where we're at? I mean, obviously we're in the Mediterranean. I don't know where the Mediterranean was 55 million years ago, but... That's actually a question, actually. Where was the Mediterranean in 55 million BC? One second. I'm switching over to this new site, the one DZ Maven linked. Because they actually have labeled maps. Puts them ahead of the other one. There we go. Ecco the Dolphin. Well, that's interesting. Some of the stages are actually a little bit different on the CD version. No, it makes perfect sense, Mook. Okay, here we go. Jurassic Beach. That's what I want. Interesting. Hmm. So yeah, now we're facing giant eels. Like you do. Sing this song in the air to call the pterodon. That's what they said, not me, but Falkenstein. Literally, the game dialogue said that. There we go. That was strange. There was a current. Alright, so I have a map, but what do we do now? We're in this volcano room. We cannot get out. So what do we do? Okay, so Von Falkenstein thinks it's another bullcrap jump. Good guess, good guess. But we actually have to go through this air vent right here. I'm gonna be real. I get that the bubbles are supposed to indicate that. That's not what I took from those bubbles being there. Yeah, that's Metroid level design right there. Wait, what? Turn, please? Turn? Okay. There we go. Okay, I can turn again. Okay, that's our source of oxygen. Oh, I see it. I see. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's awful. Okay. Okay, so... where's the exit? So let's refill our air. Let's go down a completely unrelated vent over here. Get the key. Go back down the original vent. Scooch over. Yeah, before we hit that, actually, let's grab the invul. Hey! Please? Please? Jesus. Okay. Okay, got the key. Okay. No, I was actually thinking the same thing earlier, DZ Maven. If, like, the sonar allowed you to find hidden passageways and that was, like, a mechanic, was you were supposed to be like, vroom, that would actually be kind of cool. So, yeah. Unironically, that might be the best stage we've had so far. I don't think it deserves a positive before you ask. I did still need the map to find the Metroid blocks, of which there were 2. And it was, like, but, like, honestly, it was fine. Like, you know, you rush over, you get access to the Pterodon, Pterodon carries you over. Metroid block key, Metroid block, and instead of air, because there's no source of air, except for, like, that thing, and those are both pretty early on. They give you invuln, because invuln removes your air meter. So, you get an invuln, and you get an invuln. There's actually a third invuln, too, I didn't need. But I can't possibly be happy, Pillars of Snow. I live in the real world. Alright. Sorry, that's a little dark. Okay. Only a little dark. It's actually a good question, Ross. That's right, it's the dark licorice. That was always the plan. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and call the level we just did a wash. There's actual degrees of game design, and it's a level. That sounds like, you know, low praise, but honestly, no, I kind of mean that. That was kind of legit. It was a stage. And if I can be blunt, that's a high bar at the moment. Yeah, compared to the last stage of nonsense, we've established a new bar, I think. So 1 second, please. Congrats, Cycloud. You're doing better than I did. Granted, you're on the CD version. Hello, Evo. Okay. Okay, so we have reached a stage that was a neutral Evo, but you missed it. You missed it. Let's see if I have a save back here. I do. Okay, so you see this? Do you see this insanity? What is required of you, and I gave up on this. It was hurting my hand. What is required of you is to make that jump. Do you see that jump that I totally just freaking made? Oh, well, hang on. So this, I think, is what Cycloud was pointing out. No, not right about here, right about here. Cycloud just managed the 3rd jump, which is better than I managed. Because this game controls so much worse on the Genesis version. So, and I'm going to stress that I mean this sincerely. The way you do this jump on the Genesis version is you get lucky. Because the physics, I hate to use that word, but I don't know what else to call it, are wrong and inconsistent. So you have to get the right angle and do the right thing at the right time, and then the calculation has to be correct. Otherwise, nope. Yeah, this is some frame perfect crap, and you know me, I can do frame perfect. I speedrun Mega Man and Metroid. I got that. Even with all that momentum. Yeah. 4 jumps in a row, by the way. And as you saw, as I accidentally showed off, pretty easy to accidentally lose progress and jump back, too. Anyways, back in the present, or past, excuse me. So we just went back in the past, 55 million years. Because, yeah. Of course we did. No, it's not a joke. We are in 55 million BC. Or whatever. With tons of enemies and aliens that totally were not around at that point in time. And by aliens, I mean dinosaurs. Which are now aliens. Oh, this is an interesting looking one. Where are we? Okay. I'm not going to show the solution. The solution is to go through an invisible wall and use a teleport to the end of the level button. Okay, this is ridiculous. Go away, go away. I notice there's no healing here, which is great. There we go. Sing this song in the air to call the pterodon. Please? Mr. Pterodon? Hey, there we go. Yeah, we haven't had cheats on since the jumping level, actually. Oh god, Cycloud, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Do not join in my horror. Then the pterodon was like, Gotta be a key then. Okay, that's a key. I mean, I know I said this story earlier, but I gotta reiterate. I have seen speedrunners die in this game. Which I guess sounds normal, but I mean, like... Just think about that. Someone who knows this game well enough and has played it over and over and over again can still die in this game periodically because it's just the type of game it is. There we go. Got the key. Hi, Lizar. I mean, yeah, the Sega CD... We've actually been playing the Sega CD soundtrack periodically over the day. It was just requested that I go back to the original music for a bit. Honestly, I know people are pushing for, like, a plus for the original soundtrack. I'm not really sure I agree so far. God, this is a lot of enemies. In a section where there's no air, so we're in a hurry. What? No, we got the... Yes, I'll drown then. Okay, hang on, let's rewind. God damn it. Yeah, they were going to make a third game, and then they didn't. This actually sold relatively well for what it was, but yeah, it didn't sell that well. Well enough to get a sequel. And a couple ports. What? Don't I have the... Damn it. This was 92, I believe. Oops, sorry. Well, here, hang on. Do we have, like, Jurassic Bay original? Ah, here we go. Pterodon Pond. Here you go. So here's the Sega CD version of the song that we're on right now, of the stage we're on. There we go. Got the key. Hell, literally the first screen of Ecco 2 is better than the entire game of Ecco 1. That's not hyperbole. God damn it. Right. Helps if I'm using the right buttons. It's on me. Okay, pause. Oh, no, that's a good question, because unlike the entire rest of the world, I do not worship the ground that DKC sits on. Well, we're in the second to last stretch, Evo. We're actually making some decent progress, believe it or not. There we go, got the key. Let's re-up our invuln. See, I think the difference between DKC, and I mean this is not hyperbole. The difference between DKC and Ecco is Ecco, we threw up the cheat flag on level 2. It takes until about World 4 for DKC to hit that point. Yeah, amusingly, this game would get the first tag, game tag. It's not going to, of course. But why not, Laura? Because I want to give it the garbage tag instead. There's the key. I cannot believe that key. Did you see that nonsense? Oh yeah, we're in a hurry because there's limited air. So let's go, let's go. Space concerns, Lord Paramount. There we go. Okay, pause. If we go upper left, we will die because oxygen is becoming more and more of an issue. Oh, current. Oh god, I can't even see what's happening. Where are we going? Okay, I need to go this way. Ecco, if we breathe air, why do we live beneath the waves? That is a freaking good question. Mysterious voice from the past. Don't chase me up here. Did you see how far that trilobite chased me? Did you see that nonsense? Ah. I don't think it leashes either. Or if it does, it leashes off-screen. And because it chases you so fast, it doesn't get off-screen. There is a cheat to prevent breathing, which I'm extremely close to turning on here. But I think that was actually air? Air? Nope, that's current. Of course it's current and not air. Why would that be air? Don't be stupid. What? Apparently that is air? How is that air? This is the Sega CD soundtrack. Okay. But we gotta be a little careful because we're at like 1 health. This is button mashing, by the way. Okay, so. Yeah, Sing this song and call it. Okay, so now we've unlocked the pterodon. We're not gonna make it. There's no way. There's no way. Wait, was that air? Might have been air. No, that was not air. Okay, cool. That's... Now we're dead. Yeah, everyone was making fun of the inaccuracies earlier. I know you weren't here to make fun, Evo. It's okay. We all have to get our kicks in, right? Oh, God. Alright, you know what? Hang on. Okay, we are now invincible and have infinite hair. Negative to everything. What's really funny, I'm so stupid. I actually cursed this. I really did. Because I specifically put these two games in the front because I thought they'd be the best of the awful block. I figured Ecco would be fine except for the machine. Well, and City. Yeah, by the way, here's the last room. No healing, like in this entire part of the stage. In fact, actually, as a glance, I'm not sure there's any healing in the stage at all, other than that one point right towards the beginning. Yeah. Yeah. I did. I thought the story would be garbo and the gameplay would be acceptable. I thought the gameplay was like Dirge of Cerberus. I'm not going to back off of that. That's what my memory was. And my memory was extremely wrong. Oh, God. Don't even say that, Pills of Snow. Why would you say that? I mean, we do have Prince of Persia coming up, a game I have never beaten. No, you're exactly right, Blateful. It's why I say things like, from memory. You asked a question about gaming consoles and most interesting competition, Alex Brown. Honestly, I'm tempted with PS2 and GameCube. Both good consoles, both with wildly different approaches to how they were doing games. Oh my God, Retu. Oh man, Gen 2 is just gonna blow Gen 1 out of the water. I'm just saying. No, I shouldn't say that. No, I haven't reviewed it. I've cursed it. I've cursed it. What did I do? Why did I do that? No, Dream Whisperer. The Awful Block is technically being chopped up because I don't even know if VTMB2 will be part of that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause for lunch now. When we come back, more of this. Also, really quickly here. No, Karateka, however you pronounce it, is part of the Nest block. So for those of you curious, we're about to start stage 19. There are 27 stages. We can do this. But I'll be right back.